Well guys, let me talk to you about something that's been bothering me a bit about this Pacer. So I really got a good look at it. Where that leaf spring mount is a lot worse than what I thought it was. I looked underneath this thing and it didn't look that bad. But after further investigations, you see this big lump in the floor right here? Let's see if I can dig my way down to it through all the carpet. There's the ground. Like, see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's my hand. So the leaf spring mount has come right through the floor. As you can see it right there, all the way through that floor. The next thing that's bothering me, so one, that's it. Two is this V8. There's nothing wrong with this V8. This is a good running V8, but the problem is I cannot run this car with a V8. So that means I have to buy a 4.3, a 2.5 iron Duke, which is pretty much impossible to find in Ontario these days, or a 2.3 Mustang, which is still very hard to find because you need the old carbureted Mustangs. You can't be putting no fuel injection into these things because there's way too many wires. So that puts me at the next problem, buying a motor. I have found a 2.3 with no transmission. It's out of a boat. Buddy wants $800. So that's an $800 investment into a motor. I found another 2.3 at my buddy's place, but it's been sitting outside with no carburetor on it for over probably 10 to 15 years now. So that's kind of a no-go for me as well, because it also doesn't come with the transmission. I found a 4.3. Buddy wants over $1,000 for the 4.3 carbureted and a transmission. So basically, no matter what, I'm looking at $1,000 for a motor for this thing, because I cannot run the V8. I'm looking at rust here in the back. And the other problem I have is, one, I think this thing's going to be a giant target, to the point where when I go in the ring, I'll be a bigger target than any Camry wagon that you guys have ever seen. Number two, if I break anything, which I'm probably going to because these axles are not really the strongest, control arms, anything like that, spindles, I'm not going to be able to find parts. When's the last time that you guys have seen a Pacer rear end here in Ontario? I haven't seen one in probably 12 years. I know that you can put other stuff into them. I'm very well aware of that, but I haven't seen one of these Pacer rear ends. Now, I could make some money parting this thing out. Like, the glass is worth something, but the chances of me selling the glass are pretty rare. The headlights and the grille, again, are probably worth something, but chances of me selling them are pretty slim. 304 I could probably get $300 or $400 for with the transmission, but then I still have to use that money to buy a new transmission. I know the windshields in these are worth a pretty penny, but the problem with that is then you got to find somebody that's willing to ship a windshield. Not a lot of people are willing to ship windshields. The other thing is, when I sit in this, I'm sitting in it obviously, but I don't really like the way I feel in it. I feel like, I don't know, I know it's going to sound stupid, but I feel like I'm in a big car again, and I just don't really like the feeling of the big cars. I don't know, I don't think this car is for me. I've listed it for sale on a couple local pages around me. I have a couple people interested, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to let this thing go for anything less than maybe $2,500 is my bottom dollar, because you're never going to find another one of these, and I don't know. These cars are extremely rare, especially the wagons. I've only ever seen one other Pacer in a demolition derby, and he brought it up from the US, but I don't know. I know this is going to make a lot of you guys mad because I know that all you guys have commented on it, but I've also been getting a lot of hate comments telling me that if I derby this Pacer, they're going to unsubscribe and all that stuff, so I don't know. It's a cool car. It definitely is. I just don't know if it's for me. The amount of work that's got to go into it. Like, I would love to smash this thing. Like, look at that. That's actual steel, guys. Ready? Listen to this sound. That's actual steel. But realistically, for what I paid for this and the money I have to put into it, I'm probably going to be $3,500 into this thing just to get it into the demolition derby ring, not including my time. And this isn't going to be no 40-hour Toyota Camry. This thing here is probably going to be like a 3 or 4 month build. I was thinking maybe LS it and drive it on the roads, but With that back frame the way it is, this thing can barely handle the 304 in it. It's not going to handle a 5.3 or a 6 liter or even a 4.8 underneath this hood. So at this point in time, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen to this car. She might go up on the auction block. It's a shame, because when's the next time I'm going to find a Pacer? I had a Spirit once. I've never found another Spirit, but I don't know. I'm sorry if any of you guys were super excited to see me smash this. Honestly, when I seen this thing on the internet, I was like, I'm super excited to smash this. And once I got it here and I seen how much work's involved, it's a lot more work than what I'm used to and that I'm really willing to put into this car. Like, for example, that car right there, I could put 20 hours in it and have a good stock to mild show. I could put 40 to 60 hours in and have that thing to be a good weld car. This thing here, I could put 60 hours in and it might be good for a stock show because of the repairs it needs and the motor swaps it needs. Because as this thing sits right now, for me to be able to run this, I pretty much have to run this with the Crown Vics. And that would pretty much be a giant shame. This thing here would just pretty much, in a stock show, get destroyed by Crown Vics. I know a lot of you guys say she'll hold her own. I bet you she would, but at a stock show I can't fix that floor either. So I'm sorry everybody, but pretty sure the Pacer is going to be sold. It was cool while it lasted. I did a couple burnouts. That's all you can ask for, is do some cool burnouts with this Pacer. Oh well. Kudos, little buddy. We'll find something new. We'll definitely find something new. We have other stuff though. We have the Buick, we have the Lumina, we have an Accord. There's other cars out there other than just rear-wheel drive minis. You know, I used to think this is where it was at, was rear-wheel drive minis, but I've kind of lost the feeling for them. Oh well. Oh well, feeling a little bit disappointed, but thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.